Hey guys, what's going on? This is Jason from the Jason&Jabari podcast, and today we have a special treat for you guys. We have Ras Tafari Yah in the building. He's a Rastafarian rapper, and we're just going to basically be picking his brain and seeing kind of from his perspective and how things kind of unfold for his life and stuff like that. So without further ado, please, welcome. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody once again.
Shalom, peace and love. Thanks, Jason. As Jason mentioned, I'm Ras Tafari Yah. I'm you refer to me as a rapper. That's cool. I'm the program coordinator for YAH RASTA Prison Ministry.
Okay.
And our ministry is focused on music. So of course, rapping, hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I think your forte is reggae, right?
So we all over the place. But for me personally, hip hop and reggae. Yes.
Okay. So I guess I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But as we expand, we get into all genres. You know what I'm saying? Different genres speak to different people. So the message is going to be consistent, but different genres speak to different people. So we're going to get off in everything.
So I guess the first question, because it's interesting that you say that it's a prison rap ministry, correct?
Yeah, it's a prison ministry. It's a prison ministry.
Okay.
And rap is a music. Okay, I put it like this. It's a music ministry. I put it like that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like I don't preach to people, bro. I don't preach to people. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm a writer. You know what I'm saying? I'm a writer. I know how to paint pictures. I'm a writer. I've written poems, stories, films. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Been a performance artist since I was 14, acting in plays, acting in commercials, films. Started performing rapping actually in college. Actually, I have been writing raps per se since Snoop came out.
Okay.
I wanted to be like him. You know what I'm saying? That was about it came out when I was like 12. But so my whole point is like performing, writing, rapping. That's been a part of my life for a long time.
Okay.
And now that I've kind of gotten to this point, it's like why not apply that to what we're doing with this ministry.
Okay, so you're kind of giving back what inspired you to, I guess, the prison inmates, correct?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
How did you transition into the prison? Like, what made you want to assist those guys? Because from my understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the prison system primarily is of African American descent, correct? So and this is just me reaching. Was it potentially because that we're heavily populated with the African American community that maybe we relate to rap, and you thought maybe you could reach a few more people doing it that way, or I'm just asking, like.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. However, how do I put it? We're kind of jumping ahead. It's not just using rap to reach prisoners.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? We're the rapping piece of it, the podcast piece of it. That's the promotional piece of the ministry, and that's more so focused toward the general population, society at large. You see what I'm saying? We're using the music to be a voice for the prisoner.
Okay.
So this first project, of course, is my project. It's the inaugural project, but we want to get to a point where we're exposing and giving a voice for the actual prisoner. So instead of hearing me on the song, you go hear an inmate on the song talk about his life. You see what I'm saying?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and because as you mentioned, right? What sparked me to even really, it's kind of a long story, but to your point, African Americans, my ministry is more specifically geared toward African American men.
Okay.
Because I feel that we are a very underserved population, especially the incarcerated male. However, the black male, period, you know as well as I know how it is. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes
I do.
Sometimes you cannot get anyone to understand you but another black male. So again, my ministry isn't preaching to prisoners and inmates. My ministry is listening. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm a certified life coach. I'm a certified Kemetic yoga instructor. That's African yoga. Yoga started in Africa. Forget what they tell you. When we think of yoga, we think of white women. We think of everybody but us. Yoga started in Africa. That's another subject.
Really? Now you're educating me. Okay.
However, so in terms of how we interact with prisoners, we want to come to them with a listening ear.
Okay.
We want to come to them with this is what I seek to develop. This is what we seek to develop with the prison ministry. We seek to develop a true rehabilitation program. You know as well as I do. A brother will go in, a brother will come out. He's not necessarily rehabilitated. And chances are he's going to go right back in if there's no intervention, if there's no development of that brother. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So we seek to, again, this is right in the beginning stages, right? But we seek to develop to the point where we are literally a go-to for these brothers. You talking about not just in terms of a listening ear, but resources.
Resources. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? What about the brother? What about the brother that only got about 5-6 months left of his bid, and you know what I'm saying? And he doesn't have any prospects for a job. He don't even have a prospect for housing. So we want to get to the point where we have businesses, we providing jobs, we're doing all that. So going back to the rap and the music, hey, that's for y'all, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's for you all to sympathize with the prisoner. See what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because if we give the prisoner a voice, if we give the prisoner an avenue or platform to express himself via the arts, via poetic, via lyrics, you see what I'm saying? We're going to display his humanity.
Okay.
A lot of times we as a society forget whether he did it, didn't do it. They have humanity. And these brothers let me ask you a question.
Go ahead, please.
And don't answer the question out loud.
Okay.
But think about the worst thing you ever done in your life. Think about the worst thing. Think about what you won't tell nobody. Think about the secrets you would take to your grave.
Okay. All right. Okay.
The difference between you and the prisoner is he or she got caught.
Okay.
And because he or she got caught, you see what I'm saying? They are being judged for a lot of them for the rest of their lives. They are being judged by that mistake. What happens when you go in? It's no longer your name. It's what's your number?
Exactly. You do become dehumanized. Yes, I agree.
Dehumanized. See, and a lot of us don't know what's going on. And I'm still educating myself. So I can't even act like I'm an expert on everything that goes down in prison, but I do know there's a hope where what is supposed to be an institution of rehabilitation a lot of times turns out to be an institution of dehumanizing.
I would agree with that notion and statement, actually. So I like that idea as a whole. I really do. Letting these people's voice be heard, so to speak. Because I was under the impression that you guys were going in and kind of ministering to them through music and stuff like that. But instead, you're actually going to be listening to them and allowing them to express themselves, just for clarification. And that is an awesome idea because I can't obviously attest to this firsthand, but I would be led to believe that a lot of prisoners or individuals, whether, like you said, they did it or not, they probably feel like they do not have a voice or no one cares. So no one cares, right? So that is an awesome idea and awesome concept, and I really, really like it. Unfortunately, I do have a list of questions I have to ask you. We only have a limited amount of time, we can actually get back to that because I really like that idea, and I do want to elaborate on that just a little bit. But first, you mentioned your podcast. Please tell the audience about your podcast, and guys. We're going to link the description of his podcast, of everything going on. He's actually got a show coming up as well. We're going to link everything on all of our platforms. So you guys, if you want to get a hold of him or see what's going on with him directly, you will have an avenue to do so. But please go ahead and tell us about your podcast, please.
Okay, I appreciate that. So again, as I mentioned before, we are using music to promote the ministry.
Right.
The platform that we're using is a podcast. It's the most cost effective and simple way to get your message to the largest amount of people the quickest. I can upload something today and everybody has it tomorrow. It's just a matter of knowing whether or not it exists. So the podcast is YAH RASTA MUSIK presents. Again, it's the promotional arm of the ministry. We're raising awareness through music. Our ministry is based around the life and times of King David.
Okay.
Yeah. King David in the Bible, they said he was born around 1091 BC. So that's about 1,000 years before Christ, right? And the most quoted book of the Bible that I know of, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the most quoted book of the Bible is Psalms.
Okay.
And you can buy a book of Psalms like without the rest of the Bible. That's how quoted it is.
It has a lot of. It's pretty vast.
Right. Exactly. So there are 150 Psalms. King David wrote the bulk of those Psalms. So he wasn't just a king. He wasn't just a warrior. He was a lyricist. He was a poet. You hear me?
I do.
So, and if I may, I would have to say he has to be. All these rappers, everybody that want to be the king of rap. I'm the king. I think it's King David. Why do I say it's King David? Because again, he's the most quoted lyricist to walk the earth. Okay. We still quote Psalms, bro. He was born 1091 BC. You see, so our ministry, I ain't gonna get off into
No, please, man, no.
Our ministry is based around King David. He was a warrior king, and he was a lyricist. So this is the blueprint for the first hip hop artist. You see what I'm saying? So I figure, as I relate to him, the more I study him and kind of dig down deep into King David, and the more he tends to represent so much more than what I was originally taught about him or what I originally thought I knew about him.
Okay.
So my point is, so in the tradition of David, we use music as a tool to spread the message. And we want to establish a network in various prisons to be able to expose. My point blank, I want to go and find these other King Davids. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
I don't know who your favorite rapper is, but I guarantee you there's somebody right now, 23 hours lockdown, nothing but a pen and a pad, that will kill your favorite lyricist, on some hip hop, lyrical skill type. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
type thing. So not only is it an underserved community, it's an underserved it's a talent pool. It's a talent pool that it's an untapped talent pool. You see what I'm saying? But we are not going to go in and exploit this talent pool. No. We bringing people into the fold of this ministry. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
Come along with us. Use your skill like I'm using my skill. Use your talent like I'm using my talent to help further this ministry, to help further awareness, because attention equals awareness equals funding. And YAH RASTA Ministry, this is not a 501c3. We do not get funding from the government.
Okay.
We do not get funding from any special parties.
Okay.
If you want to know why, I can go into that. But I feel that the most effective way to operate this ministry is through support from the community. So, every dollar that we get, that's from people like yourself who this speaks to them, so they want to donate. There's no government program backing this. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
We're relying on the efforts of any inmate that chooses to link up with the ministry and say, yeah, I got some stuff I want to write. I got some stuff to put on that podcast. Give me a beat. You see what I'm saying? And again, is going back to giving them that voice, man. So that to restore some dignity, man. We need people to care about these guys.
Absolutely. We definitely need people to care about these guys because they are people and they are our people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they're our people if we're being honest about everything. So I definitely agree with that. The next question I had for you was what, I guess you kind of touched on it a little bit, but if you could just like walk us down and paint us a picture, right? From, you don't necessarily need to go back way back, but like what inspired you to become who you are today? Like, because as a person and as we walk through life, we have dreams, we have ambitions, we have goals, and then as we mature, so we like to say, those dreams, those ambitions, those goals either they stick with us or they become like obsolete, right? And then we just continue to something that either we become a productive member of society where we're just working a 9 to 5 and we're trying to raise a family or something like that. And it's very few and far in between where people actually chase their dreams but obtain those dreams that they were chasing for the longest amount of time. So how did you kind of start? Because you mentioned earlier that you were 14 or whatnot, right? When you were rapping and things like that, right? So what made you pursue this dream to all, you know, all these decades later and still be, you know what I'm saying, inspired to do this? And actually now you're in front of a crowd and stuff like that. Like, how did you get here? Basically, can you walk us down like a short path of maybe trials and tribulations, things of that nature, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man. And that's a great question, bro.
Thank you.
So when I was about 10, 12, 11, 10, 11, 12, my brother was locked up for murder he did not commit.
Okay.
My oldest son is now older than what my brother was when he went in. My brother is there now. Again, this is a murder he did not commit.
Okay.
When a member of the family is locked up, whether they did it or not, whether they were living a certain lifestyle or not, when a member of the family is locked up, the whole family's locked up. That was a time where my ambition was to go to law school to get my brother out.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
I do.
So I'm talented in the performance arts arena. And when I learned of that talent and became addicted to that talent and decided at an early age I was going to pursue that talent, in the back of my mind, and in the back of my mind, I was telling anybody, I'm about to make enough money to get a real lawyer to get my brother out. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times the difference between whether a black man serves life in jail or freedom is a good lawyer. You see what I'm saying? Because
did he have a public defender or something like that?
Exactly. Yeah. Public defenders don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Public defenders don't get it. Not when it's a high profile case, when someone is murdered in a small town and they need somebody to take the blame for it so this can go away as quick as possible. And as the story goes, as it has always been going on since the beginning of our time in this wilderness called North America, the name of the game is find the closest black man. Okay. So my brother is still serving for murder he did not commit. He maintains his innocence. It was a case of find the closest black man, lock him up, and get this out the newspapers. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So I grew up with that in the back of my mind. My niece wanted to go to law. My niece wanted to go to law school. Like when you lock up a member of the family, everyone is locked up. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this prison ministry that I saw, that my father's a minister, bless his soul. My father's a minister. Now, I don't remember at the time whether or not he already had a prison ministry before my brother was locked up, but a major part of his ministry throughout, my life was a prison ministry. You know what I'm saying? His son is locked up for murder he did not commit, and he's a minister. Why wouldn't you go into prison? You see what I'm saying? Absolutely. So I guess to your point, man, all the time, when you read Master P's Guaranteed Success, when you read up on Jay-Z, when you read up on Diddy, read up on any Black man or woman that came from poverty in this country that made it somewhere.
Okay.
A lot of times at the heart of their journey is that they for whatever reason, the way they think, whatever, my granddaddy told me, whatever, for whatever reason, they put the plight of their family on their back, and they're like, I'm going to get it for my family. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So my brother has been on my back since I was a kid. Because at the end of the day, acting, rapping, whatever, directing, whatever my ambition was, it was to bring some money home so I can get my brother out.
Okay.
But check it out. March 2020.
Okay.
I get diagnosed with an autoimmune disease to the point where I have to re-examine who I am, and I have to re-examine my life and how I'm going and how I'm moving and how I'm acting. So I'm saying,
okay.
I did a lot of good things in my life, but I did a lot of negative things. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
I put out positive. Yeah, my behavior, man. I put out a lot of positive stuff, but I put out a lot of negativity. And through the course of when I was diagnosed with that condition, I was forced to deal with myself on a physical level, a mental level, an emotional level, and on a spiritual level.
Okay.
By the time I got to this point where I am now, because there were several times I thought I was going to die. That's where you know my Rasta name is Tafari Yah. I found Ras Tafari in that process. Okay. I won't even say, I don't even want to use the words I found Ras Tafari, because when you really study what it is, I was always Rastafari. I just was too silly to know it at times. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. However, so it's like anything, man. When your life becomes catastrophic, you got two choices. You either continue to wallow in that misery, that bed that you made, or you seek something higher than yourself. And a lot of times, you know as well as I do, sometimes it's not even that you saw something higher than yourself, is that in that time, that higher self that was knocking at the door to let you in, now you listen. Because I thought I was on my deathbed.
Okay.
So that higher self was always knocking. When I look back at my life, that higher self was always knocking, but it wasn't until I thought I was on my deathbed that I began to kind of open my eyes up and open my ears and listen. So now, while the mission has not changed, get my brother out of jail. However, my heart has changed. My mind has changed. My brother ain't the only person locked up. I ain't the only person telling this story. There's millions of us behind these bars.
Okay.
And I can go out, right? And I can go make a movie, and I can go make rap albums, and I can say, yeah, I'm doing this for this, I'm doing this for my brother, whatever. And I can go get him out, and I can get him out of jail, and then I can live the rest of my life and pat myself on the back. But I've learned so much deeper than that. It's deeper than just throwing some money at this case and then freeing my brother and walking away thinking I've done something. It's about going in there and ministering to the spirit of these of our brothers, bro. Because you know as well as I do, we are at a war. We are at war. It's a spirit. It's a war of spirit. It's a war of principle. So like there are forces literally warring for these brothers' souls, warring for our souls. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But how, and you know as well as I know, as a Black man, how deep the pressure can get. You know what I'm saying? So, and we on the outside. You know what I'm saying?
True. This is true.
So the pressure on the inside. So my whole point is, I got to speak more than just to my blood brother. I got to speak to this situation. You see what I'm saying? Okay. I got to pick up what my daddy left off. I got to start a prison ministry, bro. I got to speak to this situation. But I need to speak to this situation on a huge level, on a global level. You see what I'm saying? Okay. If you watch the Netflix documentary, the 13th, when they so eloquently painted the picture of what's really going on, you know, the school to prison pipeline, the 13th Amendment, the three strikes law, it goes on and on. As long as at the end of the equation, it equals a bunch of Black and brown brothers and sisters being locked up in droves, and the rest of us not caring because, hey, they prisoners, bro. I didn't do that. They did it. You see what I'm saying? He made his mistake, whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when you don't know, you don't know. not only did half these people didn't do it, but okay, whatever. What if they did do it? So what? Okay, so they did it. What? But now, but they still need some ministry into. Do they not need ministry if they did do it? Like they need it. They need it. They need it. They need it more than anybody else. Do they not? If they did do it, you know what I'm saying?
Something that I find quite interesting, and you can agree or disagree. This is just my own personal opinion. I find it quite interesting that through modern day society, most people, I'm not going to say Americans because I don't know what's going on over in the East, but I very well imagine they're just as probably mentally incapacitated as we are, or however you want to word that. But
I like the way you worded it though. You like the way you worded it though. That's real. Mentally incapacitated.
Yeah, I find it quite interesting that we have avenues if we have money, right? So, and those avenues are therapy, you know, a shrink, however you want to word it, right? But it kind of alludes to you needing some source of revenue in order to get that therapeutic help to heal mentally, right? Because I'm a firm advocate of mental health and mental awareness. I'm very, very opinionated when it comes to people mentally healing over physically healing, because to me, that's far more detrimental. And what you just said was a lot of these prisoners, if they, and we're just going to go with the ones who did do it, they do need mental health, right? They do, but they don't get that, right? A lot more oftentimes than not, what I find is what they receive as opposed to empathy or sympathy or even a listening ear, right? Or something, or a platform where they can be vocal. What they receive is put downs, criticism, you know, ignorance, they're just already branded and stained permanently as if that's the end for them. And what I've often found out is that when you allow someone to believe that there is no hope, that is when that individual becomes the most dangerous.
Yes.
Because you see it all the time. Most people commit suicide when they have no hope left, when all hope is gone, right? They commit suicide, so they just kill themselves, or they can just mass shootings, right? You see that type of stuff. When you take all that hope away from someone and they have nothing, or they feel they have nothing to lose, that is when you have just created a monster.
Yes.
And a lot of people, I don't think, understand that when it comes to the prisons. You probably want to give someone a little bit more empathy or sympathy or a little bit more time, whatever that looks like for you. Go out of your way a little bit without bending the rules necessarily to assist that individual and give them a sense of humanity and show them something better. So then if they did do that, then they could have remorse and they can learn from doing that. And then they could become a better member of society and go forth and maybe even reciprocate that to someone else. Hey man, I messed up in this field and these are my regrets, but you don't have to go that route, right? But too many people want to judge and criticize. And I'm telling you, in my experience, when you do things like that, and you keep on beating someone into the ground because it makes you feel better or because you think they deserved it or whatever the case may be, you just made that person even more dangerous than what you first probably imagined. So, sorry, I didn't really mean to go on a little rant there, but I just thought that was important.
You're perfectly correct. A person will rise or stoop to your expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, and put them in a position to where they honestly feel there is no hope. Treat them as if they are less than, as some, and continuously treat school again. School to prison pipeline. So treat these kids like, continually treat them like they're criminals, continually treat them like they're less than. They're going to give you what you're putting out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
And that is very unfortunate. But I did want to bring up that point, and that's just my personal belief. I'm glad you do agree with it. Some of you viewers or listeners may or may not. And if you do, please leave it in the comments below and why you feel that way. Guys, if you're going to be constructive about your criticism, that is beneficial. But if you're just going to criticize, that's not really beneficial. That doesn't really add or contribute to the conversation. I don't mind a difference of opinion because I personally don't like echo chambers, But I do want to learn from a different perspective. So if you do want to leave a comment or whatever voicemail, I think for Anchor or whatever for Spotify, then go ahead and tell us why you don't agree. And if you do agree, great. You can also tell us why if we fail to mention anything, right?